Hello, I am Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz, August 3, 2018, 12:16 a.m. Birmingham. And topic, there you see the Book of Enoch, warning watchers. And let me give you an idea of what this means. Chuck Missler even spoke of it often before he died. The days of Noah and the return of the Nephilim. He talked about this often. New, troubling times are increasing. Guys, are we seeing this? Are we seeing this yet? All I see I see Democrats are about to, all their brains are turned to mush. And the media, they're crazy. But I don't hear any of them reporting on these things. Steve Quayle, the next link between aliens and fallen angels. And even Henry Groover talks about a vision for America, and it's not good. And Trey Smith, theory of everything, gods, devils, dimensions, dragons. Look, these things are coming upon us because the Book of Enoch explained all this. Prepare for the return of the giants. Smithsonian drops evidence of something strange. Get this, Smithsonian says this, and they don't usually tell you anything. They hide everything. But something strange is happening. Ancient giants existed, and they will again. I'll tell you this one last. Henry Groover, again, fallen angels chained beneath the streets of Europe, and you ought to hear that. It's an amazing story, and I believe he saw what he saw. Steve Quayle, Timothy Averino, exposing ancient secrets. UFOs are real. UFO footage, PPNS report. This is politics, prophecy, and supernatural. Fallen angels, demons, giants, Steve Quayle and Hagman. And Mark Taylor, it's about to get real. I think Mark Taylor is talking specifically about what Donald Trump is going to do. I think Donald Trump's going to get mad. I think Mueller, I think your last days are coming up really quickly. And I'm getting sick. I ain't getting fed up with Mueller and all this BS that he keeps coming up with. I believe he's about to get shut down. Tim Averino interview, the amazing prophecy of the Book of Enoch. Look, the Book of Enoch tells us so much. And, was the Book of Enoch held from the canonized Bible for a different reason? Did anyone have influence over what they did not want to go into one of our books of the Bible? I believe the Book of Enoch, if Jesus quoted from it and others quoted from it, I believe it should have been there because it tells us a clearer picture of Revelations than Revelations does. Severe warning, Steve Quayle and Trey Smith. Noah, the truth is bigger than you thought. And Return of the Nephilim. Again, this is another one by Chuck Missler. And look, I'm really upset about Sarah Sanders, about what they're doing to her and several other of the people who work with Trump. I don't think they'd do this to a guy. I think they're too cowards. I think there's too many guys that just kind of put them in their place real quick. If their place is on the back, then so be it. The supernatural's here. Russ Dizdar said you can bank on it. Steve Quayle, L.A. Marzulli, Watch the horizon. Watch what comes. The horrifying first half of the tribulation is told in the book of Revelations. And this is prophecy in the news. This is Linley Oz. Antarctica saga, trapped fallen angels, Enoch, Nephilim. The book of Enoch will tell you specifically where some of these fallen angels are imprisoned, and that is in the Antarctica. It is clear. You can read that. It's there. 2,000-year-old Book of Giants described how the Nephilim will come into our day. Well, they're being recreated just as Nimrod, and Nimrod will be recreated. And disclosure, the ties between Antarctica and Mars. This is Steve Quayle on Hagman Hagman. And I don't put too much weight on what I don't know anything about, and that's Mars and the moon. I just know what they say, and I've not seen biblically that there are things out there. Steve Quayle on the trail of the biblical giants. And guys, this goes on and on and on. What were the wars of the giants? What were their wars? Well, they didn't necessarily kill everything they ate, and they ate a lot of people. This is in the days of Noah. Saddle for battle, Linley Oz. Saddle for battle, just giddy up, get ready to go. The Nephilim and the Nephilim giants. This is shows a depiction of David with that rock in a sling. Did you know that rock, I don't know the size of it, I'm assuming about the size of a quarter, had the impact of a .45 caliber when it hit that giant square in the forehead. It probably caved his head in, had the impact of a .45 caliber. That's amazing. The Genesis, Revelation, Nephilim, Nimrod, NASA, and Rob Skiba says flat earth, and that's something I just can't agree with. Nephilim, Steve Quayle, update, the lost world of giants unveiled. Look, all these things are going to come to pass, and they're going to come to pass, I think, fairly quickly. And I say quickly, again, I said a number of times, if Trump gets another 6 years in, I'll be surprised. If he does not, I believe that's because the church will be raptured prior to. But things are on a fast track. I heard that there were 520,000 attempts to change and to crossbreed the DNA of man and animal in Europe in 1 year. And they have things that they have kept alive, just like what we have read about in the Area 51, where downstairs in the 7 flights, or Dulce, New Mexico, that there are things down there they've been experimenting with for a very long time. And we're talking about pre-Hitler days. And Hitler knew as much about this as anyone else. Guys, are you ready? Are you ready for what's coming upon this planet, this land, the world? Are you ready for it? Steve Quayle clearly says, beware. Beware. That means be prepared. The Nephilim giants of Genesis are coming. Are you ready? Again, once more, The book of Enoch will give you a full description of what happened in that day. A full description of it. And it's worse than reading. The only thing worse than reading about what took place with the Nephilim, with the fallen angels and what they did and all the things they crossbred, the only thing worse than that is the judgments that's going to be in the Revelations, the final 7-year tribulation. 2 sets of judgments by our Jesus, by our Lord. And then the worst of the worst comes from God. God will have, we know, one set, which are 6 judgments. The 7th ends it and calls for an additional. The additional, it's possibly the additional called the 7 thunders. He told John, do not write what you saw and what you heard about the 7 thunders. That is a surprise. I don't know if the 7 thunders will be a specific judgment against those things that have come upon the earth to hurt mankind, or if those 7 thunders will be for those who are still in your face, God. I'm standing with these idiots, although all of them are being tortured and punished. But even the very elect would be deceived, as the Bible says. Look, all I can tell you, there are too many people warning us every day, day by day, and we see the absolute lowest of the low in human beings today in the liberal media. They're scum. They're lost and they're scum. Their agenda is the same as Obama. Hand over via Agenda 21 to the UN, to the Pope, and to the Antichrist. That is their agenda. They too, the scum, the liberal media scum, have sold out just like the establishment. The establishment, just like Mueller is telling you, you don't do anything to me. I own you. I dictate to what you will do. He's talking to Americans. He says, I'm ahead of you. You can't hurt me. Well, Mueller, get ready for a crash landing, buddy, because Trump is about to put you in place. And guys, Christians, John 3:16, I wouldn't let this night pass before I clearly knew what that meant, because tomorrow may not come. Jody Wolf Expoz.